She wants a shadow presidency. And let me tie it to one other thing. The reports are out this week that Hunter Biden,
I know, this is incredible that he's advising him,
is at the White House and attending all the meetings with the president.
A crackhead.
As what, our new shadow president? Right, exactly. Because Joe Biden can't do it. And so on deck is the drug-addled, corrupt felon son?
Megyn Kelly went on Piers Morgan to absolutely destroy a couple of Democrats about the issue of Trump versus Biden, who's really running the country, and many, many other topics. Megyn Kelly did a very great job. I don't always agree with her on everything, but on this Piers Morgan appearance, she did a great job. Megyn Kelly and Piers Morgan, as well as people like Dave Rubin, just shutting down the things that we can all agree on. There's a lot of things I disagree with Megyn Kelly and Dave Rubin on, but there's some things that everybody out there with just a hint of common sense in their brain can agree on. And these Democrats that go on Piers Morgan and go on these other shows and try to just bring up these false narratives all the time and use these same exact talking points, they need to get shut down. And I'm appreciative that people like Megyn Kelly and Dave Rubin are at least doing that. Let's show this clip here from Megyn Kelly destroying these Democrats on Piers Morgan Uncensored.
And she must have known that this was highly likely to happen, because from all the reports now coming out, as the media finally takes its blinkers off, this is not a one-off. This has been what he's been like quite regularly in the last few months and 2 years or so. What do you think of Jill Biden's role here and her responsibilities?
I think she's been exposed as a power-hungry aspirant herself to political power. She is on the cover of Vogue magazine right now.
Yeah.
Why? Because she wants to promote herself. She tweeted out a photo of herself sitting in the president's chair not long ago when he was preparing for the G7 meeting with his chair hanging over the back of his chair. She's not the damn president. Get out of the chair. No one wants you at the G7. No one elected you to lead us politically. And a couple of years ago, I did a bit that went viral on how she insists on being called Dr. Jill Biden everywhere. And all these left wingers got upset with me. She is a doctor. She's got her PhD. She's in education, what have you. I don't make fun of that degree. My own father had that degree. But my father would never have insisted somebody call him Dr. Kelly. He went by professor, and that was a title he'd earned. Why does she insist on it? Because she's power hungry, because she has a small fractured ego that she needs built up. She needs the affirmation of strangers to give her an honorarium. That really means almost nothing. The only people who get to be called doctor legitimately, I understand, no disparaging of the degree, are medical doctors. If you can't say, yes, I will resuscitate him when he has a heart attack on a plane, stop using that label. When you get introduced at a book club or on The View, which is what she does, all right? And I do think it's tied to what we're seeing now, the big reveal about her. She's power hungry. She wants it. What did we see from her on debate night? We saw her take the stage and guide the president of the United States down the stairs like a mama would of a toddler, like you and I both did when our...
Not just guide him down the stairs, but literally treat him in front of a crowd of people as well as nationally televised audience. Not just guide him down the stairs, but treat him like an actual kindergartner. Treat him like a true kindergartner in front of the stage, or in front of the audience, on the stage, in front of the live audience, as well as the people watching on television and YouTube and everything. They're saying, Joe Biden is saying to Joe Biden, you did such a great job. You answered all the questions. Like, it's how you talk to a dog. That's how you talk to a dog that can't even understand what you're saying, or a kindergartner or a preschooler. It's not how you talk to that's not how you talk to an adult, number one. It's damn sure not how you talk to the president of the United States in the public setting. In a public setting where he just got off a debate stage with Donald Trump, where he got railed. He got absolutely demolished on the debate stage. That's not where that happens. It's very obvious that Megyn Kelly is correct. It's very obvious that Megyn Kelly is correct, that this person is very power hungry and doesn't really care about Joe Biden, or doesn't have like an actual relationship, loving relationship with her husband, Joe Biden. She just wants power herself. And she's going to do anything, including commit elder abuse, in my opinion, on Joe Biden in order to keep that power and gain more as much as possible. It's sick.
Kids were babies. And then after the debate, that clip that was everywhere with her saying, you did it. You answered all the questions. Again, speaking to her the way I speak to my dog when he sits.
Hey, I promise you, I did not watch this far into the clip. Look, I said this all the time. I don't pre-watch these. Somebody sends these to me and I react to them live. I don't pre-watch these, okay? Somebody that I trust sends me these videos. It just happens that she said the same exact thing that I said. I promise you I didn't pre-watch this. That's bad content. I wouldn't pre-watch this and then say what she's going to say before she says it. That's bad content. I didn't do that, okay? Just so you don't have to leave the comment. I didn't do that. I never do that. It just so happens that, hey, great minds think alike. What can I say?
On command.
It really was.
This is the leader of the free world. She knows how infirm he is. She wants a shadow presidency. And let me tie it to one other thing. The reports are out this week that Hunter Biden,
I know, this is incredible that he's advising him.
Is at the White House and attending all the meetings with the president.
A
As
crackhead.
what, our new shadow president? Right, exactly. Because Joe Biden can't do it. And so on deck is the drug-addled, corrupt felon son? Hard no.
Yeah, convicted felon, right? That's the phrase that they love to use to disparage Donald Trump so much. Convicted felon. Said it over and over and over again. You know, it's the new Russia collusion phrase. And yet there's a convicted felon that, because of nepotism, is advising the president, which probably has literally no idea of anything that he's ever been advised. He probably can't recall one thing that he's ever been advised. So there's no point in advising a guy who can't even use his brain. His brain does not function. He can barely read off a teleprompter. You know, it's all like, when you really just zoom out and think about what's going on right now in the United States, it's really sad and also scary at the same time.
This whole family needs to be bounced out of this office. And I think even the Democrats are starting to realize it.
Do you know what's incredible, Megyn, is that since that debate, you know, the person we barely heard from or been talking about is the one person everyone assumed we'd be talking about 24/7, Donald Trump. And when you think about the trajectory here, a year ago, I was interviewing Ron DeSantis down at the Governor Mansion in Tallahassee in Florida, because he was the one flying high. He was the one who was the golden boy of the Republican Party. Trump was dead and buried. It was all over. And it was around that time, a little bit earlier, it was sort of February, March of last year. It was around that time that they started all the legal efforts to go after Trump. Yep. And from that moment, two things happened. Poor old Ron DeSantis got completely sidelined. And the Trump train, which was on the sidings, tipped up on its side, thinking that's it, suddenly got put back on the tracks and is now...
I really don't know what Piers Morgan is talking about here. I think for a while, Ron DeSantis was like an attractive candidate because it was something new and fresh. But as everybody saw who Ron DeSantis was more in the spotlight, the guy is just not presidential at all. I think if there's anyone who is an actual threat to Donald Trump, even though I don't think it ever got to the point where, at least me, I thought that he would ever overthrow Trump as the Republican candidate, it would have been Vivek Ramaswamy. And I'm hoping still that becomes Trump's VP. I think that would be a great choice. I love Vivek. There's some things that they're a little fishy, you know, but for the most part, I like him, especially a lot more than Ron DeSantis. I think as we saw Ron DeSantis more in the spotlight, we started analyzing some of the decisions that he's made, where he flew to the, Ben Shapiro's favorite country to sign a certain bill and then flew back to Florida. It's weird. And then also the way he just acted, his mannerisms, his speech patterns and everything. They're just not presidential. They're not likable. Nobody likes the guy. Donald Trump is likable. Vivek Ramaswamy is likable. So I don't know about Piers. I don't know what Piers Morgan is talking about. I think by the time Trump started going through the legal problems, it was kind of clear that the tide was turning against Ron DeSantis. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments.
Now steaming ahead, almost inevitably back to the White House. I've never seen a reversal in fortunes quite like what's happened to Trump, or a bigger self-inflicted wound by an opposition party than the one they did to themselves by deciding that they couldn't beat him at the ballot box, so they were going to destroy him legally and try and put him in jail. It's been, I mean, as a lawyer yourself, it's been a spectacular act of self-harm, hasn't it?
All great points. The two huge acts of self-harm, the lawfare against Trump and the agreement to do this debate.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessary. They easily could have said, we don't debate convicted felons.
Right.
He didn't do the debates in the primaries, and we're not debating him. It would be beneath the office of the presidency to participate in any platforming of that man. And his entire base, and probably most independents, would have said, well, we expected it. They didn't have to do it. They actually thought he could get out there. Do you remember Joe Biden out there couple months ago? Make my day, pal.
Yes.
He released a video challenging Trump to do this debate. Make my day. I hear you free on Wednesdays, because he was in the midst of that New York trial when they had Wednesdays off. The brashness, you know, the attempt to be the new John Wayne.
Yeah, it is like, it's weird. I like it. I think it's kind of charming a little bit. If it wasn't a guy who's like full on onset dementia and everything, the way that Joe Biden talks and the old timey phrases that he uses, like me and my friends, we joke about it all the time. It's become like common jokes that we use, is like the way that Joe Biden says whenever Donald Trump would say something, he'd be like, "Oh, that's the biggest load of malarkey I ever heard, man." Or he'll say, "Yeah, the morals of an alley cat." It's like like the old timey phrases he uses. He's like a time capsule, dude. It's like his brain started going through dementia, and now he just reverted back to his speech from, you know, the 1910s when he was born or something. It's really funny, but yeah, I do find that strange that he was so adamant on debating Donald Trump when basically the entire world knew that would make him look worse than if he just denied the debate or declined the debate. There's also a portion of this where Dave Rubin goes off on a couple of Democrats here. Let's check this out, because I thought this was very interesting.
Let me just finish my thought.
I'm giving you credit,
finish my thought,
you understand
brother.
what I'm giving you?
Let me finish.
I'm not kidding. Hold on. But I'm giving you legit credit. Democrats know how to do this. You guys are damn good at it. You know how to go when you need to go and when you need to protect. You're good at it. Take credit for that. There is nothing that's happening right now that's organic. This is genuinely a full court press from Nancy Pelosi to every major member of the media to get rid of Joe Biden.
I agree.
You should see
That
that
could well
clearly.
be the case. If you let me finish my thought, that could well be the case. There may be many, many people who in their heart of hearts want to get rid of Joe Biden. But there are practical reasons, everything from how the money flows to we don't have an obvious next choice to the polling for everyone else is not that great. I get people may not. I can tell my phone was blowing up with people like saying, "What the hell?" during that debate. I'm not disputing that. What if we're going to have a conversation like adults about what we think is actually going to happen? I, as someone who is supposedly the inside of all of this, can tell you that there are a lot of reasons why it will be Joe Biden. That's all I'm saying.
I honestly,
wait.
I think
Can I
I
jump
do
in for
think
just
your
a sec?
response is very interesting.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
And you were on the inside. And by the way, you're not entirely wrong. And Dave, I'll come to you on this, because the rules stipulate that all the money that Joe Biden has raised so far for this election campaign can only go to his vice president. It cannot go to anybody else. So Kamala Harris is in immediately by far the best position, because all that money can only go to her.
She's the 5%.
Right. Well, look, the
she's
Democrats made a deal with the devil, and here we are. Let's not forget, whatever deal they cut during primary season last time around, when right before Super Tuesday, everybody from Mayor Pete to Elizabeth Warren to Andrew Yang, et cetera, dropped out. Everyone except Tulsi Gabbard, who ironically is the most moderate Dem because she's not even a Dem anymore. And had Biden chose her as VP, I think there'd be an awful lot of Democrats going, you know, I can vote for a Democrat because I'll have Tulsi Gabbard. I might vote for a Democrat at that point if it was Tulsi Gabbard. I hope Trump picks her, but that's a different thing altogether. But what we're seeing now, in relation to your question, is that they are stuck between a man with dementia and a woman who in effect has dementia. Her thoughts are basically the same thing, right? The circular.
Also, nobody there's no way people actually like Kamala Harris. You know, I was talking about earlier how Ron DeSantis is just so unlikable. Kamala Harris is like not even just unlikable. That's not harsh enough. She's hard to not hate, you know, just like the way that like she's so arrogant. And I really hope she's not the candidate, because then every single time I have to talk about Trump versus Kamala Harris, I'm just going to get so damn angry. Like I'm getting angry right now just thinking about it. With Joe Biden, it's like, oh yeah, just funny guy with dementia. Like it's all good. You know, if Trump loses, then it's definitely some foul play. There's no way that we have a legitimate voting system if Trump loses at this point. But if Kamala Harris is there, then I'm actually going to get so pissed off every single time I see her face. Like this isn't even, I don't even care about her political views or anything. It's just the way she acts just pisses me off. And then you add in the fact that she's absolutely an idiot when it comes to anything politics wise, and she has a lot of power when it comes to making decisions. And if she's running for president, she's going to have even more possible power. And it's just going to piss me off even more. I don't even want to think about it, dude. It's a horrible thought.
logic and the rest of the nonsense. So everyone knows that if you were to push out Joe Biden, you end up with someone that is potentially worse. I would also say, I would agree with Ben in that what we're largely watching right now is the media just figure out how to spin the lies in real time. So I think what happened on Thursday night was everyone saw a corpse up there, a man who could not complete a thought, and every single sentence he said, all you were waiting for was him to be able to be unable to finish it, right? So because it was so bad, they all actually told us the truth Thursday night, and now they're spinning a new narrative. Now he was on cough medicine, or he wasn't feeling well, or he didn't sleep enough, even though he didn't work for 6 days prior. And I think the more that we can just sort of peel back that layer and see what the truth is, then we'll be able to make some positive
Anthony,
decisions.
let me come back to Anthony. Anthony, let me come back to you.
Can I respond to that, Piers?
Yeah,
let me just, first of all, what happened in 2020, Democrats chose the moderate on that stage, who then went on to beat Donald Trump. We did that part right. Now we've got an incumbent.
But he hasn't covered as a moderate. He was a puppet. Can I
please? First of all, he has. I can't think of a single thing the squad has gotten done in the last 4 years. But let me just finish my thought. Can I please finish my thought? You might find it interesting. So now we're in a situation where we have an incumbent who's shown one thing that's super important to Democrats. He can beat Donald Trump. So people are suggesting, well, let's throw out incumbency. Let's throw out the known quantity. Let's go for unknown quantities who aren't polling so well either. I'm just saying, for practical reasons, this isn't the media protecting or not protecting. There are I don't understand this. This propensity to talk over me is really not helpful.
This Anthony Weiner guy is an actual idiot, I think. Like, I'm not a Dave Rubin fan. You guys know I don't really like Dave Rubin very much. I think we don't have to go into that for a different video. But Anthony Weiner is an absolute idiot. The only reason why Joe Biden would be the candidate going into the next election would be because he has beaten Donald Trump before, and that's it. That's the only reason. Other than that, every single sign, if you have any reason, common sense in your brain, everything tells you this guy is not fit to be president. And that's not just coming from someone who has the brain of, oh, Donald Trump must win because the other side is not fit to be president. That's coming from, put yourself into a Democrat's shoes, whether you're a decision maker, whether you're pulling the strings like the Obamas, or whether you're just an average Democrat voter with a 9-to-5 job. Everybody who's looking at Joe Biden is saying, this guy does not give us the best chance of winning because he can't think. His brain does not work. He can't finish a sentence, like Dave Rubin was saying. So Anthony Weiner, he's just wrong. You know, I think there's a high likelihood of Joe Biden not being the candidate. And I'm hoping, as someone who wants Trump to win, I'm hoping that Joe Biden is the candidate. I'm praying that Joe Biden is the candidate, because on the off chance that everything is going to be fair going into this next election, which everybody seems to have forgotten about what happened in the last election. And everybody's like, oh yeah, it's a shoo-in for Trump to win. It's like, guys, did we forget what happened during the last one? And, you know, I remember vividly, everything was looking good after night one. Trump gave a speech at the end of night one, and he said, I just hope they don't find a bunch of votes overnight in these states that I'm winning in. And what happened whenever we woke up? Oh, look, they found a bunch of states and you know, votes in those states overnight. It's probably going to happen again. You know, it's probably just going to end up happening again. And they're going to throw everything they can at him. You know, they're already trying to throw him in jail. And whenever the election time comes around, they'll have something planned. So I don't know if it matters very much who the Democrat candidate is. I just hope it's not Kamala Harris. That's all I'll say. I would lose my mind if it's Kamala Harris on multiple occasions. Let me know in the comments what you thought about what Megyn Kelly had to say about Joe Biden actually running the country. And what do you think about what Dave Rubin is saying about who the candidate is going to be for the Democrat side? Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole Piers Morgan uncensored episode.